We'll go down to YouTube. It's your boy Switcher coming back at you. It's not a texting pod or nothing like that. We're scrolling up and down NFL.com, and what do you know? My boy Martavius Bryant has requested to be traded. Now, the teams that he may want to go to have been unidentified yet, but after seeing what the points we put up here in H-Town, I can guarantee you that Houston would be on that list. Now, I get it. You guys are tired of hearing me talk about Martavius Bryant, but all in all, like I said, if he really wants to be traded and if Pittsburgh is willing to deal him, like I said, just like most people are saying on the comments of NFL.com, most teams won't offer up anything more than a third. But like I said, looking at how we play offense now, I would take Martavius Bryant over Jimmy Graham just off of the fact that he's younger, and with the way our cap situation is getting ready to look after the next few years, because I don't see these guys that have I ain't gonna say big contracts, but these guys that are, just old and eating up cap. I don't see them being here, in the foreseeable future. Don't get me wrong, shout out to my boy Sticky Lair, because he did a video earlier, on J-Joe, and don't get me wrong, personally I like J-Joe, but if a business decision had to be made, I would go ahead and make that business decision, to acquire another asset, that can be used to put up more points. Now, of course, everybody is saying the same thing. We need defense. We need defense. We need defense. Trust me. Again, like I said in my last video, I get it. And if you can bust a trade for one of those two guys, either Jimmy Graham or Martavius Bryant, for say a 4th round pick, and then say a 4th from next year, that's a decent little trade, for either one of those guys, because you didn't have to really give up a player, and those picks, I mean, it's Rick Smith picking them, so the odds of them panning out would be slim to none. But hey, I don't have a crystal ball, so we don't know. But like I said, just looking at it from that standpoint, that's what I would do, because like I said, with either one of those guys offensively, I don't know what that was, but offensively, either one of those guys helps you put up more points, you know what I'm saying? And last time I checked, it's the team that has the most points on the scoreboard. That's what team will win the game. From a defensive standpoint, like I said earlier in my video, I would really be trying to target Dominique Rodgers-Cromartie. Looking at most of the DBs that are out there that are serviceable, DRC for J. Joe and probably Dwayne Brown, that'll be a decent trade, if you ask me, because you get 2 cap casualties off the books for one guy. You know what I'm saying? That money that you're gonna get from those guys, you can go towards paying Clowney, B-Mac, those guys next year. And like I said, if Rick does decide to go the aggressive route and go younger, say offensively, and swing for Martavius, then guess what? Now, I'm pretty sure him and Will, if that trade was to go down, him and Will would probably have to get paid around the same time. And looking at it for what it is, seeing as how Martavius would be the new guy, I don't see why not. I don't see why. Martavius probably wouldn't take a little discount and whatnot, because you guys also got to remember, after a few years we're gonna have to pay Watson. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, all in all, the Martavius Bryant trade, that's something that I've been swinging for since the beginning of the season, and to hear this come full circle, for him to request to be traded. I mean, like I said, I get it for those that have, their own jaded opinion. Well, I'm not going to call it a jaded opinion. For those that just have their own opinion and mindset as to, not getting another offensive weapon, I can understand it. But, I mean, again, just looking at it for what it is, I'll take Martavius over Griffin, or over really Steven Anderson. You know what I'm saying? And I like both of those guys. But if you line those guys up and you stack them up against one another, again, Martavius wins that match from every angle, from an athletic standpoint, from a ball skill standpoint, to being able to score the touchdowns and hit the big play. He checks all the boxes with that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, defensively, I will go after DRC as hard as I could. Seeing as how he's having his he's serving a weekly suspension, from the team, not from the NFL, from the team itself. And like I said, if there was ever a time for Rick Smith to be bold, now would be a really good time to do so. Like I say, being able to hit on DRC on the back end, and being able to bust a trade for either Martavius Bryant or Jimmy Graham, and you cooking with Crisco. Now, the reason why I want this trade to happen as soon as possible, because we're getting ready to go into a bye week, and that bye week will be so detrimental for whoever we was to bring in. But those are just my thoughts on that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. If it's a good idea, to at least consider the option of bringing him in, just so that you have that explosiveness, that true explosiveness on offense. Or, like I said, would you rather go with the original plan that I said, and you go after both, either Martavius Bryant or Jimmy Graham, and for the defensive player, you go after DRC. But like I said, man, I'm out.